One signal that Ukraine may be losing or may be out of the favor of the globalist elites is coming from the Open Society Foundation and George Soros, because we have news from documents obtained by Bloomberg and Reuters that the Open Society Foundation, George Soros, his son is now is either now operating it or will operate the Open Society Foundation. Either way, this foundation, bankrolled by George Soros, is looking to pull out of the European Union. It is done with the European Union, according to these documents, and it's going to focus its efforts on other parts of the world. Most likely, we're looking at Asia and a big focus on China. Now, George Soros, he despises China. He absolutely hates Xi Jinping, and he's been wanting to get at China and destroy China for a while now. So it looks like the younger Soros' son, what's his name? Alexander, I believe is his name. It looks like Alexander is going to try and accomplish what his father could not do, which is to destroy China. Soros to shut down most EU projects, according to Reuters. The liberal financier will shift his attention to other parts of the world, according to an internal memo. Now, he's not going to leave Europe completely. According to this memo, this document, Soros Foundation will continue to provide limited funds to Ukraine, Moldova, and the Western Balkans. But as far as the EU is concerned, it looks like the Soros Foundation is bolting, and that probably means that they don't see much of a future in the European Union. Perhaps it means that they see Project Ukraine and the EU as a lost cause, or it could mean, this is a different way to interpret this move from the Open Society Foundation. It could mean that they've captured all of the leadership in the European Union and in Europe in general as a whole. They've all been captured. They're all loyal to the globalist cause, that there's no need to invest in it anymore. They could be saying, we've got all these guys. They're not going anywhere. They're going to do whatever we tell them to do. So why invest money in the European Union anymore? Let's take our funds and divert them to Asia and to China, probably to Africa as well, and let's focus on those regions. So it could be a signal that the Soros Foundation sees Europe as collapsing and not worth it. It could mean that the Soros Foundation sees that Ukraine has lost the conflict, Europe, the EU has lost, and there's no need to invest good money after bad. Or it could mean that, they've got Europe, the EU wrapped up anyway, so let's move on now. So that is the news from the Open Society Foundation. Let's see here. An Open Society Foundation spokesperson told Reuters that the NGO would continue to hand out some grants in Europe, including in Ukraine, Moldova, and the Western Balkans. These grants will be doled out to a national level foundations at a scale to be determined over the coming months. The spokesperson said, over the past 3 decades, the Open Society Foundation has spent over $19 billion on various projects, including $209 million in 2021 towards projects in Europe and the Central Asia region. So $209 million in 2021, $19 billion in total. That's a lot of money for a lot of regime changes. That is a lot of money that the Soros Foundation has spent. I think their total budget is something like 25 to 30 billion. That's like the total amount of money that they have to spend, or something like that, 35 billion. It's just a huge amount of money towards regime change, chaos, and war.